You've been killing your own manifestations. Every single one you abandoned too early died during the exact phase where it was becoming real. That tightness in your chest when nothing seems to move, when the outside world looks identical to yesterday, despite everything you've held in your mind, that feeling is the signal most people misread. They think it means the desire is dying. It means the opposite. By the end of this, you'll understand why the waiting, the specific kind of waiting almost nobody teaches, is where creation actually happens. The Kybalion lays out 7 Hermetic principles. Most people fixate on vibration, on mentalism, on correspondence. The 7th principle, gender, gets skimmed over or reduced to something biological. That's a misreading that costs people years. The principle of gender says that gender manifests on every plane of existence: mental, spiritual, physical. And on the mental plane, it operates as 2 distinct phases of creation that cannot be skipped or compressed. The masculine phase is projection. You choose the desire, you define it, you impress it upon your subconscious mind with clarity and emotional intensity. Neville Goddard called this entering the state. You construct the scene that implies your wish fulfilled. You feel it real. You give it everything, your attention, your sensory imagination, your conviction. This is the seed. And then comes the part that unravels almost everyone. The feminine phase is gestation, reception, allowing. After you've planted the impression, your subconscious mind, what Hermetic philosophy calls the feminine principle of mind, must receive it, nurture it, and bring it to form through channels you cannot orchestrate consciously. You don't get to manage this part. You don't get to peek at the roots every morning to check if they're growing. The moment you dig up the seed to inspect it, you interrupt the very process that was working. Think about how you actually behave when a desire matters to you. You do the mental work, maybe a visualization session, maybe a session of prayer, maybe scripting or affirming. And for a few hours, you feel aligned, certain. Then morning comes. The bank account looks the same. The person hasn't called. The opportunity hasn't appeared, and something in you clenches. You start reworking the desire, reaffirming with a desperate edge, trying harder, louder, more forcefully, as if volume determines creation. That clenching is the masculine principle refusing to yield to the feminine. You keep projecting because receiving feels like giving up. Gestation looks like nothing from the outside. Your rational mind, trained by a culture that worships visible effort, reads stillness as failure, so you push harder. And every push resets the cycle. A farmer who plants corn in April and then digs it up in May to check on it will never eat corn in August. You know this about soil. You forget it completely about consciousness. The Kybalion describes the feminine principle as the one that does the creative work of generation. The masculine directs, the feminine generates. Both are essential. A desire with only masculine energy behind it is a command shouted into an empty room. Endless affirmation, with no release, no surrender, no trust in the unseen process, and a desire approached with only feminine energy, pure passivity, pure waiting without ever having clearly impressed the wish, is a womb with nothing to grow. You need both, in sequence. Neville was precise about this rhythm. He taught that you enter the state, your imaginal act, done with full sensory vividness, done from the end, and then you drop it. You fall asleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and you let the deeper mind take over. His instruction was almost frustratingly simple. Do it at night. Feel it as done. Sleep, and then live your day without trying to make it happen. That live your day part is the feminine phase in action, and it's where the real discipline lives, because passive gestation requires more inner strength than active projection. Anyone can visualize for 10 minutes, holding your nerve for 3 weeks while reality shows you the opposite of what you claimed in imagination. That requires a kind of faith that lives in the body, in the gut, in the way you breathe when someone asks how things are going and you say good, while every visible fact argues otherwise. This is where the Hermetic principle cuts deeper than surface-level manifestation teaching. Gender on the mental plane means your consciousness itself has 2 modes, and creation requires you to move between them deliberately. The projection mode feels powerful, alive, you're doing something. The gestation mode feels vulnerable, empty. You're trusting something you can't see, can't measure, can't prove to anyone else. So what does healthy gestation actually look like in practice? It looks like Neville's concept of the Sabbath. After the mental work is done, You rest. You go about your life carrying a quiet inner knowing, the way you'd carry the knowledge that a package you ordered is on its way. You don't call the warehouse every hour, you ordered it, you know it's coming. The absence of the package on your doorstep today doesn't make you doubt the order. That calm certainty, held without effort, is the feminine principle doing its work through you. The trap is subtle though. Your mind will try to gestate actively. It'll call the process letting go, while actually monitoring every sign, every synchronicity, every possible hint that the manifestation is arriving. That monitoring is masculine energy, wearing a feminine disguise. True gestation has a quality of genuine disinterest in the timeline. The desire is real, the outcome is settled internally, and the when of it falls outside your jurisdiction. Hermetic teachers describe this as the relationship between the conscious and subconscious mind, mirroring the relationship between the two aspects of gender in all of nature. The conscious mind chooses and impresses, the subconscious mind accepts and creates. But the subconscious will only accept an impression that comes with conviction and then gets left alone. Doubt, delivered the morning after, is a counter-impression. Anxiety about timing is a counter-impression. Desperate repetition of the affirmation is your conscious mind saying, "I don't trust you," to the very intelligence that builds worlds while you sleep. Your heart beats without your management. Your food digests without a checklist. Your wounds close without your supervision. The subconscious already knows how to generate form from impression. Your job, the only job you have after the imaginal act, is to stop interfering with a process that predates your birth and will outlast every doubt you throw at it. There's a moment in every manifestation where this gets tested at the deepest level. The bridge of incidents, Neville's term for the chain of events that connects your current reality to your desired one, often looks like things falling apart. A relationship ending so the right one can enter. A job lost so a better one becomes necessary. Money leaving so a larger sum has a reason to arrive. The gestation phase includes these upheavals. And if you don't understand that the feminine principle works through destruction and rearrangement as readily as through gentle delivery, you'll panic, you'll abandon the state, you'll conclude that the work failed. The work was working. The contractions look like collapse. Consider how many desires you've abandoned at exactly this threshold. The ones you affirmed for 2 weeks saw no movement and quietly let die, replacing them with a new desire, a new technique, a new teacher. Each time you completed the masculine phase beautifully. Each time you strangled the feminine phase before it could deliver. The pattern repeats because the pattern is comfortable. Projection feels like control. Gestation feels like free fall. The Hermetic tradition teaches that mastery lies in the conscious cooperation between both principles within your own mind. You learn when to act and when to be still. You learn that the still phase carries as much creative power as the active phase, often more, because it's during stillness that the subconscious reorganizes your entire world to match the impression you gave it. A practical rhythm, do your imaginal work with full intensity. One session, done with presence and feeling, is worth more than 50 half-hearted repetitions spread across a week. Impress the wish with the force of someone who knows this is real, and then, deliberately, consciously, enter the Sabbath. Go about your life. When the old reality presses against your senses, acknowledge it without giving it authority. It's the old print still developing. The new negative is already in the dark room. Your inner conversations reveal which phase you're actually in. If you catch yourself mentally arguing for the desire, defending it against invisible critics, rehearsing why it should work, you're still in projection mode. You never left. The shift into gestation sounds quieter. It sounds like inner silence on the topic. A settled feeling behind the ribs, like a decision that's already been made and no longer requires discussion. That settled feeling is the feminine principle in full operation. Creation is underway. The Hermetic teachers knew that every manifest thing in the universe emerged through this dual rhythm. An impulse followed by a formation, a command followed by an execution, a word spoken into the void followed by the void shaping itself in response. Your next desire doesn't need more force. It needs your willingness to plant once and then stand in the field, with empty hands, watching the dirt, trusting the dark, letting the thing you cannot see become the thing you cannot deny. The seed is already in the ground. Your only remaining task is to stop digging.